Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to The Screen Cinema. Here are 10 insanely scary movies you need to see. Number 10, The Craft. For a generation of young goths, The Craft was an awesome empowerment story about 4 teenage witches learning and failing to control the forces they summoned. Now, Blumhouse, the studio behind the Paranormal Activity films and the latest Halloween movie, is working on a new version of The Craft, which some describe as a remake and others see as a sequel. Directed by actress, director, and writer Zoe Lister-Jones, the film will explore the original topics of female strength and power through the lens of a modern feminist climate. Zoe's just really smart, actress Michelle Monaghan said in a recent interview with Collider. It's spooky, but also really timely and relevant. You know, in terms of what it's about and how she imagined it.
Columbia Pictures welcomes you to the witching hour.
Number 9, The Invisible Man. Also produced by Blumhouse, 2020's new incarnation of H.G. Wells' sci-fi horror classic The Invisible Man looks to be one of the most terrifying movies of the year. This version is told from the point of view of Elizabeth Moss, playing the estranged wife of the abusive, controlling, and eventually invisible scientist in question, whose fear of the man she thought she knew only intensifies when no one can see him. A stark departure from the initial plans for the remake, Johnny Depp was scheduled for the titular role back before Tom Cruise's terrible version of The Mummy scuttled Universal's Dark Universe concept. This film shows a terror that women know too well, having one's abuse and turmoil go unseen, even when it's standing right in front of everyone.
It doesn't make any sense.
What?
Adrian wouldn't kill himself.
Listen, you're getting your freedom back, okay? Don't let him haunt.
Young artist Desi is trying to fight through a creative block with late nights of hard partying, but after trying a strange new hallucinogenic drug, Desi finds that only one thing will calm her: human blood. In the vein, of George Romero's Martin and Larry Fessenden Habit, Bliss takes old school vampire legends to strange, edgy new places. Though initially released in 2019, the new horror movie by Joe Begos hit streaming service Shudder on January 30th, thus entering the bloodstream of the horror movie world at large in 2020.
I saw your painting in there. I saw your inspiration all over the counter, too.
Number 7, Death Rider in the House of Vampires. Following the release of his cult classic horror, Verotica, Misfits frontman Glenn Danzig has wrapped up filming on his vampire spaghetti western, currently titled Death Rider in the House of Vampires, starring Devon Sawa and Danny Trio. The film tells the story of a lone cowboy fighting, you guessed it, a coven of vampires. Given the title and tenor of the film, one can only assume that Glenn is embracing his outlandishly dark side, which is why we're so excited. Number 6, Gretel and Hansel. With heavy doses of influence from Robert Eggers' The Witch and Ari Aster's Midsummer, this new telling of the classic fairy tale looks about as creepy as it gets. Sophia Lillis plays Gretel, an outcast trying to keep her little brother alive in a frightening forest. Sure enough, the siblings encounter a strange house with an old woman inside, only this one isn't made of candy and the woman is no cackling crone. In a whirl of stylized folk psychedelia, Gretel must save her brother and escape her prison, or else end up dinner or worse. The trailer alone will give you nightmares and looks like an atmospheric Doom album thrown on screen. Number 5, Color Out of Space. Hot off of Panos Cosmatos' insane 2018 heavy metal horror film Mandy, Nicolas Cage is giving himself over to another blast of neon weirdness, this time in Color Out of Space. Adapted from the story of H.P. Lovecraft and directed by Richard Stanley, the film tells the story of a meteorite landing on a family's front lawn and infecting the local water supply with an alien presence. This one looks to be super bizarre, so fans should make sure to go with no exceptions other than to be aghast by the end.
What's out there is in here now.
Everything's under control.
Why are you so in denial? That thing from the meteorite changes everything around it.
Number 4, Morbius. With how well horror is performing at the box office and due to the massive success of Venom, it was only a matter of time before Marvel took Spider-Man villain Morbius, the living vampire, to the big screen. Jared Leto stars in this comic book adaptation as Michael Morbius, a scientist whose attempts to cure his rare blood disease instead infect him with a form of vampirism. Whether the Morbius of the films will be a supernatural vampire and not the science vampire Marvel created in order to get past comics code rules against undead characters remains to be seen. Number 3, VFW. Also from Joe Begos, whose film Bliss tops this list, VFW definitely leans more towards the throwback feel of recent underground hits like Wolf Cop and Kung Fury. The movie stars William Sadler as part of the group of veterans who are forced to defend their clubhouse against the horde of mutant punks looking for a bag of stolen drugs. The result is a Death Wish style film in which insane, overwrought punk rockers go head to head with a crew of rickety old dudes ready for one last adventure. Colorful, bizarre, and full of gory death by insane weaponry, the movie looks like a thrash album made visual and will probably become the most watched item on Shudder in the coming year.
You were a soldier. So are we all. Let's act like it. We set a perimeter.
Number 2, Halloween Kills. After the massive success of 2018's Halloween reboot, there was no way that Blumhouse wasn't going to continue this new era of the franchise. Not only does Halloween Kills see Jamie Lee Curtis returning as good girl turned badass Laurie Strode, it also sees the kids she babysat in the original film, Tommy Doyle and Lindsay Wallace, coming back alongside her. Whether or not the new movies can continue with the same dignity and momentum that the 2018 film nailed remains to be seen, though it certainly helps that John Carpenter is ready to do the score, and let's be honest, you're going to see a Michael Myers movie in October. Number 1, the new Evil Dead movie. When the TV show Ash vs. Evil Dead ended, star Bruce Campbell made it very clear that he officially retired Ash Williams, but in a recent Reddit AMA, Evil Dead franchise founder Sam Raimi revealed that there's another film in the works. Bruce, Rob, Taper, and I are working with a young filmmaker who is writing a new Evil Dead story that he will direct. As for me, I would love to direct a new Evil Dead movie, but I'd really like to do it with Bruce, and he says he's retired. I hope not. Fans can only hope that this film is wrapped and ready to go by the end of the year, as there is only so long that a horror fanatic can go without a hit of the old boomstick.
Evil has found me.
This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that...